It won't be an overstatement to say that Wayanad is an adventurescape for all ages. From a casual walk in paddy fields, from hardcore trek to zip lines, gurgling streams, jungles, hills and more. This feeling can only be experienced if you observe the raw nature and beauty of the district. This documentary will give you that glimpse of rich cultural heritage and history and beauty of our district, making you come wanting for more.
In a country like India, stories are everywhere. Every destination has a story to tell, and every nook and corner has its own tale to share. But there are some places that stand out tall among the rest, where the congruence of history, mythology and local legend has given birth to stories of epic proportions. Wayanad, it seems, is such a place, and for the next few minutes we will explore as much of it as we can. Wayanad is a district located in the northeast of the Indian state of Kerala, in the southernmost tip of the Deccan Plateau. The literal translation of Wayanad is Vayal Nad, or the land of paddy fields. It is well known for its dense virgin forests, majestic hills, flourishing plantations, and a long-standing spice trade. Wayanad is also called the home of monsoons. The cool highland climate is often accompanied by sudden outbursts of torrential rain and rousing mists that blanket the landscape. But before we get to the hills, forests or paddy fields, we have to make our way across the primary access to Wayanad, the infamous highway called Thamarasheri Churam. This highland pass is quite formidable, with 9 hairpin bends sandwiched between a scenic mix of evergreen forest, misty peaks, streams and waterfalls. Wayanad is landlocked by the Calicut, Malappuram and Kannur districts of Kerala, the Kodagu, Mysore and Chamrajanagar districts of Karnataka, and the Nilgiris of Tamil Nadu. Even though it has multiple access routes through its forests like the Kudalur entry from Tamil Nadu and Gundalpet route from Karnataka, the Thamarasheri Churam is definitely the most popular route. It leads us directly to Lakkadi, the gateway to Wayanad, and one of the highest points in the district. Wayanad is centered upon 3 major towns, Manantawadi, Sultan Batheri and the district headquarters Kalpatta. But it is Lakkadi that is of primary interest, thanks to a story that can be traced back to the colonial era, to a time when a relatively young East India Company had started exerting its influence. The local legend speaks of Karintantan, a tribesman of Paniya clan of Wayanad. Back in those days, Lakkadi was a secret route to Wayanad, known only to the local tribes. The British wanted to seek out a passage to Wayanad, and it was Karintantan who provided them with this knowledge. But once they had what they came for, they executed him in an area that was previously used for ritual animal sacrifice. The story goes on to say that this area became the haunt for Karintantan's vengeful spirit. After several disturbing incidents, a ritual was conducted, and his spirit was bound to a chain. This chain was tied to a tree, and there are some who claim that the chain is apparently growing along with the tree. Karintantan is remembered as the first martyr of Wayanad, and the chain tree remains a popular attraction to this day. We now delve deeper into the heart of Wayanad, where the peculiar secrets of Idakil caves are waiting. Idakil is a prehistoric rock shelter formed naturally out of a strange disposition of 3 huge boulders. The name Idakil itself means a stone in between. High above on these fateful rocks, our ancestors left their immortal marks that have stood the test of time. The Idakil cave paintings are remarkable in their sheer scale and complexity, but their origins are still shrouded in mystery. The engravings are abundant and of great variety. Human figures, animals, tools, and day-to-day activities are all depicted here. The presence of engravings in many different languages is a clear indication that these caves were inhabited by different groups of people at different points in history. All the more astounding is the fact that some of these paintings date back to 6000 BC, the age of the Stone Age man. The engravings are not the only attractions at Idakil. The Muniyaras, or ancient burial sites that have been discovered in these hills, have yielded a rich collection of ancient earthenware and pottery. From Idakil, we turn our attention to probably the richest collection of historical artifacts in Wayanad, the Wayanad Heritage Museum at Ambalavayil. The museum is one of the best and the most well-maintained in Kerala, with exhibits that were sourced almost exclusively from Wayanad. It houses several galleries, each representing a specific portion of Wayanad's rich history. Veera Smriti, or the Hero's Tribute, is a collection of hero stones or Veera Kalla that were found in the forests of Wayanad. They are remnants of a dangerous tradition of tiger and leopard hunting that existed in Wayanad almost 1,000 years ago. The successful hunters were immortalized with their own hero stone. Warriors who protected traders from bandits and robbers were also worthy of a hero stone. Deva Smriti is dedicated to the gods and deities of Wayanad. The sculptures are mostly of Hindu and Jain origin. Some of them show influences from the powerful Vijayanagara Empire, particularly a 14th century idol of Lord Sri Rama, which was recovered from a pond. The Gotra Smriti section houses exhibits from Wayanad's tribal customs. They are items associated with the day-to-day life and activities of the tribal clans. These include woven baskets and containers, nets used for trapping birds, and even blow guns to catch fish. Though most of these items have become obsolete, some of them still have a presence among Wayanad's local community. Jeevana Smriti showcases artifacts from Wayanad's agrarian, pastoral and forest-dwelling past. This includes tribal headgear, tools, jewelry and musical instruments. Even though Wayanad is the least populated district in Kerala, it has the highest tribal population. The native tribes of Wayanad consist of many sects like the Kurchiyas, the Kurumas, the Adiyas, the Uralis, the Paniyas and the Katunayakans. Each tribe had its own special trade and purpose. The Kurchiyas and Kurumas have a strong martial history. The Uralis are primarily an artisan tribe. The Paniyas and Adiyas made up the majority of the agricultural workforce, and the Katunayakans were considered to be the chieftains of the jungle. The tribes of Wayanad depended on forests for their needs, and thus they mastered the techniques required to extract natural resources like honey. Medicinal plants, and tropical fruits. Tribal dwellings are traditional structures. The houses are usually built with mud walls and thatched roofs. Multi-purpose walls act as boundaries as well as sitting galleries. Large family residences are built in a typical community living style, with all activities and living spaces centered around an open court. Tribal shrines can also be found within the compound. The tribals also practice various forms of animal husbandry, and Wayanad is currently the only district in Kerala with surplus milk production. Paddy farming is also popular, with vast green plains and abundant rainfall leading to rice becoming a popular crop. Another type of agriculture that took hold in Wayanad was plantation farming. Coffee, tea and spices like pepper and cardamom were all grown in abundance. The climate of Wayanad was perfect for these crops, and today tea, coffee and pepper from Wayanad has become renowned world over. The Jains who migrated to Wayanad from Karnataka were one of the chief participants in plantation farming. There are several Jain temples in Wayanad, including the one at Sultan Batteri, which is believed to be 800 years old. Wayanad is still considered to be a major center for Jainism in Kerala. Other religions have also thrived in Wayanad, Hinduism being the oldest and the most widespread. There are numerous Hindu temples in Wayanad, one of which is the ancient temple of Tirunelli, which is located in the Brahmagiri hills and dedicated to Lord Vishnu. It is surrounded by dense forests and is believed to have been an important pilgrimage center even as far back as 962 AD. The holy mountain stream Papanashini is located close to the temple and is said to wash away the sins of a lifetime. The Shiva temple at Trishalari is intrinsically linked with Tirunelli. In fact, holy rituals performed at Tirunelli are considered complete only after an offering is made at Trishalari. Valliyurkavu is another ancient temple that is of particular importance to the tribes of Wayanad. Indeed, the annual festival, held over 14 days, is one of the biggest events held in Wayanad. Some of the ancient tribal customs are still observed during the Valliyurkavu festival. The influence of Muslim Kingdom of Mysore and the flourishing trade links with the Arabs led to strong Islamic presence in Wayanad. Though there are several mosques in Wayanad, the 400-year-old Koro Mosque is perhaps the most unique. Unlike the traditional Persian architecture that is seen in most Islamic centers, this mosque is built in traditional Kerala style. Varambata Mosque is another of Wayanad's oldest mosques at over 300 years old. Christianity made its entrance towards the late 19th century and has had a strong presence ever since. The Pallikunna Church, established in 1908 by a French missionary, Father Geoffrin, is one of the oldest in Wayanad. Christianity came to Wayanad through missionaries who accompanied the European traders. The traders themselves had their eyes on one of Wayanad's treasured resources, pepper. It was considered to be one of the most valuable commodities of the time, and it brought merchant ships from many distant lands to the shores of Kerala. Vasco da Gama and his Portuguese fleet came first, followed by the Dutch, the French, and finally the British, which eventually led to the establishment of East India Company and 200 years of colonial rule. The major supply of this valuable resource came from the slopes of Wayanad. The British conquest of Wayanad was by no means an easy task. Wayanad was at that time part of the Kingdom of Mysore, ruled by Tipu Sultan, one of the most formidable battle commanders in Indian history. Tipu's wars against British are famous for their sheer ferocity and his ingenuity in battle, but he was eventually defeated by the better armed British forces. As part of his surrender, Wayanad was handed over to the British. But even though Tipu surrendered, the local rulers of Wayanad were in no mood to cooperate with the East India Company. They launched a staunch offensive under the leadership of one of Kerala's foremost heroes, the man they call the Lion of Kerala, Veera Keralavarma Parshi Raja. Even though the Sepoy Rebellion of 1857 is widely regarded as the first open offensive against British rule, Parshi's wars for Wayanad predate those events. Parshi Raja was the king of the Kottayam royal family, and he was ready to fight for the land that he claimed as his birthright. Parshi used the unpopularity of British rule against them and rallied the Nayars and tribes of Wayanad to his cause. Apart from being fearsome warriors, the tribal clans knew their own land better than anyone else, giving them an advantage in Parshi's brand of guerrilla warfare. But he was eventually outnumbered, and on November 30th, 1805, he was surrounded by British army and shot dead. With his demise, Wayanad finally fell into the hands of the British. In a land of such historic wealth and natural beauty, it is no surprise that tourism has emerged as a productive industry. With the strong backing of Wayanad DTPC, Wayanad has reinvented itself to become a wholesome tourist destination with attractions catering to a variety of tastes. Initiatives like Priyadarshini Tea Environs, which is a tea plantation, tea museum and adventure resort rolled into one, and Karlad Lake, which has been transformed into a full-blown adventure and camping spot, has definitely helped to drive up Wayanad's profile in tourism circles. In fact, Wayanad has a wide array of outdoor activities to pursue. Trekking routes at Chempra Peak, the highest peak in Wayanad at 2050 meters, Priyadarshini and Pakshipadalam are quite popular. Camping trips can also be arranged at Priyadarshini, Karlad Lake or with the Forest Department. Karlad also offers zipline, zorbing and kayaking along with boating. Boating is available at the charming Pukod Lake or the majestic Banasurasagar Dam, which is the largest earthen dam in India. The Karapura Dam is worth a visit for the sheer visual appeal. The major water bodies of Wayanad are the mighty Kabani River and its tributaries, the Panamaram, Manandavadi and Tirunelli rivers. Wildlife safaris are quite popular in Wayanad. The scarcity of water in the summer leads to many animals migrating to Wayanad's abundant water sources from nearby areas, which means animal sightings are a very real possibility. The Muthanya and Tolpatti wildlife sanctuaries are the most popular for this experience. Tigers, elephants, flying squirrels and peacocks are some of the main attractions here. Wayanad is home to many waterfalls that make ideal picnic spots like Kandanpara, Sujipara, Meenmutti waterfalls. Other attractions include the curiously appealing Phantom Rock and the remote yet heartwarming Kuruva Island, which is the most visited location in Wayanad. The traditional strength of agriculture and the most recent progress in tourism has led to an overall development of Wayanad. Though the rustic charm is ever present, the district now has an agricultural research station, a veterinarian college and an international cricket stadium. Wayanad has also adopted the responsible tourism model to maximize the benefits of tourism with minimum cost to the environment. Initiatives like Subiksha that promotes artifacts produced by the native population are definitely a step in the right direction. The people of Wayanad have a reputation for working hard and playing harder. Football and tug-of-war tournaments are very popular and are fiercely contested. By spending enough time with these people, it becomes increasingly obvious that the strongest bond they have is with the land that gives them plenty. The spirit of Wayanad lies in its historical, cultural and natural treasures. It is the abode of age-old legends and fallen heroes, where the first vines of history, superstition and wild adventure sprouted and took hold. Here, the dawn of civilization burst through with its first golden rays and has kept shining for an eternity. Wayanad, it seems, is a blessed land in many ways. And when in Wayanad, we too can share in its blessing.